Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of JD Talks NASCAR. Um, Obviously, a celebratory episode. If you are a Denny Hamlin fan, I hear boos in the distance because I know there's not many that listen based on the messages I get, but um, I'm a fan. I got the platform, so I'm celebrating back-to-back Bristol wins for the 11 team. Um, you know, and this race, the start of the NASCAR season in general has got off to a absolutely fantastic start. Just with the Daytona 500, then the incredible finish at Atlanta, Vegas was good, and then this Bristol race, which was awesome on several different levels, and we'll get into why. If you watch the race, you already know why, but just crazy tire strategy, drivers having to save tires. I thought it was a great race. I know some drivers didn't like it, some did. I thought it was awesome. I really did. I thought it brought the driver back into being able to control the race. And, Denny Hamlin said in his post race interview that it had been a long time since that had happened in NASCAR, especially with this next gen. So I thought it was awesome. One of the best races at Bristol I've seen in a long time. That 2020 race, 2021, whatever one Harvick and Bush battled when I was there. That was a really good one in the Gen 6 car. But as far as next gen races at Bristol, this is by far number one. Better than the dirt too. So glad to see the asphalt back on the track for this first date. So let's get right into it. And you all let me know what you think about the race. What did you like the tire saving aspect of it? Did you like having the drivers and teams having to manage when do I come get tires? When are tires going to blow? Was it fun for you to watch? It was fun for me to watch. Like I said, there's a mixed bag with the drivers, but I thought it was amazing. So we'll get right into it. The first thing happened very quickly. Like I said, once again with a race this year. I mean, this is how it's been in several races. Caution early. This one was for the 24 of William Byron as Christopher Bell gets into Joey Logano, which then gets into William Byron, knocks him into the wall, and I think broke his toe link and just set the 24 team back tremendously for the first time this year. Just never could recover, went several laps down, ran in the back all day long, and hated to see that for Willie B. He seems to have struggles at Bristol for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but he just never been able to get it done. But then my pick that I had in the fantasy league this week, Tyler Reddick once again. And that, if you're listening and you're part of that, I've struggled this year picking just in general. But Tyler Reddick, I thought, made his crew chief just made a questionable decision there. With as important as tires were, man, leaving him out there as the only car that didn't pit and take tires was just a mistake. I know, I'll talk about on into the incident what happened, but I mean, he gets loose, gets spun, and his car looks fine. Nothing hurt, and then about 5 minutes later, the 71 of Zane Smith comes by and ARCA breaks him, and absolutely just plows into him. So Reddick was able to continue, but he was laps down all day long because of the contact. It wasn't because of the spin, it was because of the contact with the 71. Way after the fact, I wasn't very happy watching that race. Like, how does the spotter not tell him, or how does how what you it literally happened, no joke, like 5 to 10 seconds after the wreck had already happened, and Reddick was stopped. It was insane, and ruined Reddick's day. You could blame the call to leave him out there, and I would understand that. But at the same time, he got spun, but it wasn't that bad till the contact with the 71. So After that, of course, the 71 had damage. He blows his tire, then the caution comes out for debris. And this is where I start taking notes about the tire fall off. I thought it was very interesting. Obviously, Goodyear um, saying now that the fall off was too drastic, and they're going to make changes. Well, they haven't officially said they're going to make changes, but they kind of hinted at it. Um, I would say give it another chance because you never know. I guess Martinsville will be the next time that you can use this tire on a short track. But see if the teams adjust. Denny seem to think, and other drivers also used to seem to think that once the crews have a couple weeks to see how the tire is doing, and like they will make adjustments on the fly to get the tire to last longer. And if you can get the tire to last longer, that's the main thing. Getting it to last longer, because I mean, the passing was incredible, the racing was incredible. I think it'll set Martinsville up and short tracks in general. That's been one of the main issues with this next gen car is short tracks. With this tire, if you keep it like it is, and crew chiefs are able to make adjustments on it, I think that's a winning formula for successful short track racing. I know it stunk to see your driver ride around there for about 50 laps and then a tire go down, but if that's what we've got to do with this car to get the racing that we got on a short track, I think you got to keep doing it. And like I said, I don't think that's the case anyway. I think the crews will make the right adjustments. The tire will last longer at Martinsville, for example, and we just keep going. But we'll see. Obviously, Goodyear was kind of them having to mount tires and give the teams an extra set. They probably weren't too happy about that, but it had to be done because the teams were going to run out. They got 9 sets of tires to put on for this 250 lap race, and they well went past that limit and got their 10th set. So it was just crazy, something like I'd never seen before. But I think it was a success, to be honest with you. I mean, I could be way off base here, but I really enjoyed watching that race just because. I mean, it's not pedal to the metal, super fast corner speeds at Bristol like it had been. There's passing all over the track at all times, and then you've got to decide, hey, am I going to back down my lap times? Am I going to how fast am I going to go? Like that's totally up to the driver and team, and whoever was the most successful at that was going to win the race. This time it was the 11. Next time it might be Ty Gibbs. Next time it might be someone else who ran good, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott. But this week in particular, Denny did the best job, and he won the race. Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, coming to the end of the first stage, were both battling for the lead. And this is where we see the first tire issues as far as Kyle Busch's tire blows from second. He falls back instantly. Denny was leading the race, falls back out of the top 10 before the end of the stage. And Ty Gibbs did the best job at the end of the first stage and saving, and went on to win the first stage of the race at Bristol. And I was very confident seeing how fast the 54 was. I was like, my pick is finally going to get a race win. Well, that's like I said last week. I was too good last year, so I had a feeling in the back of my mind that wasn't going to happen. But Ty Gibbs did look very solid, and pretty much all race long. Then we've got Ricky Stenhouse, Daniel Hemrick, and Zane Smith into each other. That happened shortly after stage one. That did cause a caution. And then Ty Gibbs gets a pit road penalty on those stops, and that kind of set him back. He was up front all day long. Although he did get back up into the top 5 and battle a little bit, he wasn't able to really overcome it too much. Kyle Busch then self spins. I think Kyle Busch was the guy that was really tired. I mean, he just wanted to get out of there, and he's usually really good at Bristol, but didn't have the best day at all for that 8 team. Ty Gibbs actually swept the stages, and then at the end of stage 2, I'm feeling real good. It looked like Denny and Ty were the best cars. You could throw in Truex there at the end as well. but it seemed like those were by far the quickest cars. I think Gibbs was actually quicker than Denny, to be honest with you, but just couldn't put it all together and win it. Kyle Larson, pit issue, equipment interference, that kind of set him back. And this is, I'll be honest with you, I'm just going to be completely upfront with you. I did go back and watch, and I got a highlight here about another incident. But after that, I was more focused on the NCAA tournament selection show. I'm not going to lie to you all. Y'all are an awesome audience. I'm going to be completely honest with you. My attention mostly shifted to that, but that lasted about an hour, and then I saw the last 50 laps. So I did see Todd Gilliland and Austin Cindric get into it. Austin Cindric spins out, and this happened right in front of the leaders. So Denny was very, very fortunate to avoid that. Truex, that caution stacked him back up, and then the last 40 or so laps went green, and it was a good run for Denny and Martin. They were battling, having to get through lap traffic. It was very entertaining. And Denny Hamlin comes out with a win, his 52nd career win, back-to-back at Bristol, fourth overall at Bristol. And, he came back with a vengeance after blowing the tire in stage one. That was kind of his breaking point. It was, how far can I go with this? And that's what all these drivers faced. And he did the best at it. Anybody who made it to the finish did the best at it, honestly. But Denny found speed while saving. Martin Truex found speed while saving. They did great jobs, both of them. And a very clean battle, too. They're teammates, of course, but very clean. And getting through lap traffic, it was enjoyable watching them fight their way through. There was lap cars everywhere trying to save their stuff. Crazy thing about it was only 6 cars finished on the lead lap. Is that right? Due to pit strategy, some people pitting to get tires, some people staying out till their tires corded. It was just crazy to watch. Some notable finishers. I stated Alex Bowman. They played the long game with the strategy and end up coming home 4th. Kyle Larson somehow, even after his equipment interference, comes home 5th. I honestly, just looking at the finishing order, that never hit me that Larson finished 5th. I thought he was pretty much done for after the penalty he got, but he had a good car. He's good at Bristol too. That's another thing, Larson, man. He was one of the ones that actually said he didn't want to see this happen again, which I was kind of shocked. With Larson, he's so good at running multiple lines on the track, finding where the quickest is. I was shocked that he was one of the ones that said he didn't want this anymore. And I'll respectfully disagree. As a fan, as a driver, I would probably be livid if I'm up there running top 3 and then my tire cores. But then I would also realize, man, I've got to do a better job of saving. And some just weren't a fan of it. John Hunter Nemechek, with his best run in the Cup Series, 6th place finish was huge for the Legacy team. Chase Elliott ran up front a lot of the day, led some laps, brings it home 8th. Ty Gibbs, 9th. Like I said, swept both stages. Was my pick to win the race. He ends up coming home 9th. Josh Berry had a heck of a run in the 4 car. Kevin Harvick always ran very well at Bristol. But Josh Berry did a great job. He's a short track guy, late model guy who came in the Xfinity Series for Junior Motorsports. Did a great job there, and he's doing good in the Cup Series as well. Brings home 12th. Started 2nd, led some laps early. His car seemed like it kind of went, he had a tire issue and was never really able to recover back. I think he stayed around 11th, 12th for a lot of the race because he did have a tire go down. Justin Haley was a guy that ran really well during the day. And that 51 for Rick Ware Racing, it was good to see him. He's ran well in the 51, but he hasn't had the finishes to back it up. He ends up, having mechanical issues or pit road issues. But the 51, a very solid job. He was in the top 5, top 10 for a lot of that race yesterday. So he ends up bringing it home 17th. I thought that was huge. And the 15 of Kaz Grala, too. both Rick Ware racing cars, so you don't expect to see running as well as they did. They both did a great job saving tires and getting good finishes for that team. Notable bad finishers. Uh, is it too soon? I think it probably is too soon for me to start gloating about not picking Logano to the playoffs. But yet another day of them running horribly. He was never a factor. He qualified good, but after the first couple laps, he was shuffled towards the back. He wasn't a factor. He ends up finishing 22nd. Um, and I was on the Logano train last year of him getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs. That happened. This year, I said he's going to be the huge shock, but I don't think he makes the playoffs. Granted, we're only 5 races in or so, so it's way early. He can still turn it around, but my point is they're not what they used to be. I don't know what the deal is with the 22 team, but they just don't have the speed. That's honesty. Um, they don't have the speed to compete at a high level right now for some reason. Now, will they get that figured out? They're liable to. They're definitely liable to figure it out. But I mean, they qualify well for the most part. But after qualifying, man, the race just seems to go downhill, and it has. It seems like every race this season. Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch, the RCR guys, 24th and 25th. I was very shocked to see Kyle run as bad as he did. Had the self spin, had the tire go down. It's just shocking to see. Kyle Busch is usually very good at Bristol. The 23-11 guys had brutal days. Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick, 29th and 30th. And William Byron, of course, with the bad finish due to the toe link issue. Noah Gragson, 34th. Not a good day for him either. So, hate to see it for the bad notable finishers, but solid runs for the guys that I mentioned at the first part. So, now, where do you go from Bristol? You go to Circuit of the Americas, the first road course of the season. COTA has put on what I think. I'm not really a huge road course guy, but I enjoy COTA. I enjoy, of course, the first time they went there, the battle between Alex Bowman, AJ Allmendinger, and Ross Chastain was a classic finish. Tyler Reddick dominated here last year for the most part, but it's intriguing to watch. The tight corners, especially the very first turn on restarts, is insanity. So I think it'll be a good race. That race takes place on Sunday at 3:30. I want to touch on the truck race real quick at Bristol before we move on. Xfinity was off this week, as I said last week, but Christian Eckes gets a solid win, fending off Kyle Busch. Kyle stated after the race, his trucks the ones he's ran this year just aren't up to his standards as far as handling wise and performance wise. And he wants to get that fixed, but still solid run for him. I was shocked to see him not win especially at Bristol, man. He's one of the best Bristol racers of all time, and I definitely thought he would win that truck race. But Christian Eckes wins it. Did I pick Corey Heim again? No, I don't. I don't even remember. I think I picked Corey Heim, but he finished 6th. If I did, I obviously would have picked. No, I picked Sanchez. I'm sorry. I picked Sanchez. He finished 17th. But due to an issue, by the way, speaking of Sanchez, him and Stuart Friesen got into it there on pit road. Thought that was a pretty big deal. Nick seems to find his. He seems not to take any crap from the older guys. Watching that race, I did not think Nick Sanchez did anything wrong. I think Stewart basically cleared himself. Nick was there, and it ended up breaking both of them. Just my opinion. You all let me know what you think about that if you watched the truck race as well. But I thought very solid race truck wise. It was fun to watch and not overbearing with cautions or anything like that. Very solid. So I think, wow, the trucks go to COTA and Xfinity. Wow. Okay. Color me shocked. I did not realize the trucks went to COTA. I figured they would be off this week. So, wow, that's that's actually a shock to me. I'm sure there'll be some Cup guys in that race, but you know, COTA's very challenging. So that's awesome that the trucks are going there actually. Unless you're a driver, but as a fan to watch it, I mean, I'll be excited to watch that. Uh, it'll test the truck drivers of the series on a road course. So all three series is at COTA this weekend: Xfinity, Truck, and Cup. Saturday, Sunday. Truck race looks like it is at 1:30. Xfinity at 5 on Saturday. So you know, road courses, they don't have an entry list for the trucks yet. I would assume there would be a couple Cup guys, but I'm going to pick from just your regular truck drivers, and you know, we'll see what happens after that. But I mean, I've picked Corey Heim almost every truck race, and he's yet to win. He runs consistently, but one of these races he's got to win. Is it at COTA? I'm not really sure, but I'm going to pick him to win. As far as Xfinity, would not shock me if Cup guys are in this race as well. But uh, once again, no entry list yet. So, Sheldon Creed, usually pretty decent at road courses. Cole Custer won the Chicago Street Course last year. Parker Kligerman, known to be a good road course racer. Jeremy Clements, pretty good at road courses. AJ Allmendinger, of course, is very good at COTA. So I mean, I think the overwhelming favorite is AJ Allmendinger, but I'll take him to win uh, at COTA in the Xfinity Series. So Corey Heim, AJ Allmendinger. Now we move to Cup. You know, I don't know how I can pick against Tyler Reddick the way he dominated last year. I really don't. So I've got to go with all you're picking favorites. Well, you know what? It's time for me to win one of these picks because I have been absolutely terrible this year. I was red hot last year. Very rarely missed one last year, and this year has been the total opposite. So I think Tyler Reddick wins it at COTA and gets 23-11 back in victory lane. So we will see. But that's my little COTA preview. Um, really, no significant news that I can think of right off the top of my head in the NASCAR world this week. I think that COTA sets up to build off the momentum that Bristol had. I mean, I'll be anxious to see the ratings for Bristol just because of going up against the Players Championship in golf and Selection Sunday yesterday. If the viewership is up, even with that stuff going on, it's a very, very good thing for NASCAR, and I think NASCAR is on the uptick. Each race, I think this year's got over 4 million viewers. I read that today, and that's huge. I think that's in part due to the racing being so good, but also the Netflix show attracting new fans. I said in the off season that I thought that would be a huge deal, and it's turned out to be. But if you keep delivering races like you've delivered this year, there's no reason why that can't keep the viewership can't keep going up. I mean, it's very fun to watch. So, as always, thank you all for listening. A little bit shorter episode uh, today, but we'll get back at it next week. I appreciate every one of you all for tuning in. Let me see those 11s if you're listening through the screen. I know we got some 11 haters out there, but just in case you forgot, Denny Hamlin wins at Bristol back to back, his 52nd career win and his fourth win at Bristol. So until next week, thank you all so much for listening. I had to throw that in there to my Denny haters. So thank you all. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Thank you all so much for listening. I appreciate every single one of you all. Let me know what you think. I got to rate. Before I go, I have got to rate this race. I about let myself forget. Um, I, I mean, it's up there with Atlanta. I thought it was awesome. I mean, even if Denny wouldn't have won, I think this is a 10 out of 10. I think it is. I mean, with everything considered, the strategy part of it, the uh, just the anticipation. I mean, there was a part of me that thought with 5 to go, man, Denny's going to blow a tire and Martin's going to get this win. But the anticipation I had as a Denny Hamlin fan, that's what makes this worth it, in my opinion. That's what makes it so enjoyable. So I got to go with 10. Let you all let me know what you think. Had some responses last week. So keep up with the responses. I'm going to pin it on the Spotify episode. I thought, like I said, I think definitely the best Bristol next gen race that I've seen. So you all let me know what you think. Continue to send in the questions of the week. The one this week, very uh, timely with what's been going on behind the scenes this week. When are you going to your first NASCAR race this season? I've thought about it. Something came up to where got a deal on tickets for Martinsville. I've never been to Martinsville, so I think that's the best chance to go. I'm very very excited to, especially if they bring this tire back to Martinsville. I think it would be huge for NASCAR. I think it would be a very high success. I think it would be the best Martinsville race in a very long time. So we'll see what they announce with that. But I will be going to Martinsville in a couple weeks. So can't wait for that. Hopefully see the 11 car in Victory Lane. It's been a minute since he's been to Victory Lane in Martinsville. But he's always solid there. So we'll see. But first, we've got COTA. And where do we go after COTA? What am I thinking here? COTA, then Richmond, then Martinsville. Okay, so we'll get to see the tire there in Richmond first. I'm guessing if they decide to keep it. Man, I hope they do. I really hope they do. A Sunday night race at Richmond. That's strange, but we'll see. Usually, well, they used to do Richmond on Saturday nights. Then they moved it to Sunday afternoon, and now Sunday night. Um, so we'll get a Sunday night race at Richmond after COTA. But I'm looking forward to COTA. Uh, Once again, I think it'll be good. I think, honestly, with this next gen car, I think it's the best road course that I've seen them do. Um, I know we've got some fans that aren't huge fans of road courses. I'm along that line, but I think COTA is the best one that they go to with this car. So we'll see how it goes. But thank you all so much for listening once again to JD Talks NASCAR. And keep listening. Let me know what you think. I will attach the question to the episode on Spotify. And thank you all as always. This has been JD Talks NASCAR, and show me those 11s one more time before we get out of here. Thank you.